Norman is from Liberia, a Regis University graduate who came to the U.S. to further his education and eventually became an American citizen.
To me, it's just the beginning of something bigger.
And it all starts, he says, with this new school he just opened in a rural Liberian village. It's called A New Dimension of Hope.
It's not just getting the attention of students in need, but a Nobel Peace Prize winner as well.
Ebenezer Norman was born in Liberia, West Africa. And like many Liberian children, every day was a struggle to survive. A place to sleep was rare, and a good meal meant heaven. But it wasn't just the lack of food. Systemic injustice, a poor health system, lack of safety regulations, and rampant human rights violations meant that a premature death in Liberia was expected. Luckily, the resourceful young man was able to seize an opportunity to come to the United States and study at a university, something that less than a quarter of all Liberians are able to do. In the US, Norman had to relearn everything his previous world had taught him, but he was able to assimilate into the American way and study everyday Americans. He became infatuated with the study of inspirational Americans like Susan B. Anthony, Martin Luther King Jr., Thomas Jefferson. While learning in the US, Norman noticed that although Americans had their fair share of faults and difficulties, many Americans still believed in taking every opportunity to help level the playing field for all people. Einstein once said, "Every day I remind myself that my inner and outer life are based on the labors of other men, living and dead, and that I must exert myself in order to give in the same measure as I have received and am still receiving." And it is this quote that inspired Norman to spread his message of giving back, fighting inequality, and providing education to the children of Liberia. He created the nonprofit organization A New Dimension of Hope, and with it, started dedicating his life to building schools in Africa and reforming the education system. In 2015, he opened his first school. It was a triumph of will and hard work, and it supported 102 kids in a rural Liberian village.
Completion of Norman's first school was celebrated throughout Liberia and brought joy to all. But then, one morning, a land dispute erupted over the school's location. The school and surrounding village were destroyed. Everyone was heartbroken.
Norman and the ND Hope team were devastated, and the incident was labeled as an intense human rights violation. However, Norman and ND Hope are now engaged in the construction of a new school on indisputable land privately owned by the nonprofit. This time, the school will educate not 100 Liberian children, but 1,000, and will serve as a beacon of hope for the region. So now we turn to you to help us complete the next chapter of our story. The construction of the school is currently underway, but we still need your help.
Yeah.